How's it going, everyone? This is the Last Seed podcast. It's your boy John with Ty. It's been a while since we've done a show, Ty.
I know. I forgot what it's like.
Yeah, obviously, a lot of things have happened. NFL free agency in full swing, a lot of stuff
Mhm.
going with the Bills. Before we get into all that, though, please hit that like button on the video and also hit that subscribe button as well. We're at 68 total subscribers on YouTube. Very huge for us. We're gonna try and get towards that triple-digit mark this summer. So if we keep chugging along there, that'd be great. If you're viewing the content and like what we're doing. But without further ado, a lot of stuff's been happening with the Bills, Ty. It's
A
been
lot.
nothing short of fireworks. We'll start with the biggest move of all. The DJ Moore trade. Bills bring in DJ Moore. They let go of a second round pick, but also get back a fifth in a trade with the Chicago Bears. So, what's your first reactions to that?
Yeah, originally, so I was actually driving and I heard it on the radio, and it was actually some Sabres talk going on, and all of a sudden, um, I get like I guess an alert, but it's through the radio, and they're like, "Oh, we got a trade," and they're talking about hockey, so I'm thinking, "Oh, Sabres trade, okay," and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, "No, it's a Bills trade." I'm like, I as soon as I can, I'm like, I'm trying to think, like, let me see if I can guess it before they announce it, and they said it right away to like DJ Moore, and I'm like, holy cow! And obviously at the time we didn't know, what the compensation was or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, oh sweet. I'm like, let's go. We got DJ Moore. This is sweet. And then I think a report said it was like a mid-round pick or something. So I'm like, oh, I'm like even better. I'm thinking maybe like a fourth or something like that. And then it comes out, with a second. I'm like, how's that turn into a mid round pick? I'm like, is it because we got a fifth back or something like that? But honestly, I've been one to say, just who cares about these draft picks? I mean, obviously, you want to hit on some, you're gonna have to use some, but at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, we're at a point where we're trying to win now. So if it takes giving up these draft picks, give them up.
Got you. Yeah, my take from it is I'm cautiously optimistic. I've always liked DJ Moore as a player. Obviously, he's by far the most established receiver we've had in the team since Diggs has left. So you have to get excited for that for sure. This is a guy, and also too, what I like about DJ Moore is he rarely misses games. So
Right.
I know a lot of people wanted Waddle instead and all that type of stuff. I mean, I think Waddle might be a better player, but I'd rather have someone that's on the field for the whole season than someone that's maybe a little more injury prone like Waddle has been. Um, the only thing that I pause about is the last couple seasons he's kind of been on a downward trajectory. The odd thing about Moore it was his best season came with Justin Fields as quarterback. Now
Yeah.
there could be a lot of things to that. He's obviously he had to learn a new offense under Ben Johnson this season. A lot more weapons. You draft Luther Burden. Roma Dunze's been coming more into his own. Colston Loveland's in there, so a lot of factors came into play for that. But overall, I'm excited. I give the trade, for the Bills' perspective, a B. Like, I don't think this is a slam dunk type of trade. I think DJ Moore is more of a great second receiver than a first receiver.
Mhm.
But I think in terms of the receiver room as a whole, I think it's a good start. And we'll see what he can do. It's good to have a. I've been saying the Bills have been lacking a leader in the receiver room. I think this at least gives you that.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things. It's like, everyone's talking about the wide receiver train. We got to get one in free agency and whatnot, and then people are going to have their takes if they like it or not. But just imagine if the Bills sat around all offseason, didn't sign a free agent wide receiver, and they're going into the draft. Everyone's probably throwing a fit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to me, besides a couple of guys, this free agent class really wasn't that all impressive for me as far as wide receivers.
Yeah, I have to agree. I feel like you almost had to make a trade to get someone established in here. Another reason I do like this trade is now first round pick. I'm not saying it's not going to be receiver, but it doesn't have to be receiver now. And even
Right.
if hypothetically the Bills did want to go receiver in the first round, it's a lot of pressure put on a rookie to lead a receiver room and be the guy right away. if you can still do that, I think now whoever that guy is comes into a much better situation. You have a guy like DJ Moore that can take some attention off him, and a guy that he can probably learn from. Not as much
Yeah.
pressure with DJ Moore being there. Because, like I said, I don't think DJ Moore is a number one guy overall. I think he can be a number one guy in a pinch. He is probably going to be our number one guy this year, unless we get some rookie guy that just has like a Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase type rookie season. Don't think that's very likely. It doesn't happen often, but
Right.
But yeah, what would you give Bills a grade for this trade as a general? I gave him a B. What would you have to say as a grade?
Yeah, I'd probably be right around a B plus, just because, like we talked about, they had to make a move for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting a guy like Alec Pierce for the money he wanted. Same
No.
thing with Romeo Dobbs. I figured he was gonna get a lot of money too. The only other guy that maybe, I would have leaned toward was Mike Evans, but you take his age, he's coming off of an injury. I think he'll
Right.
be fine, but you never know. And then, you can maybe get a guy like trade for Michael Pittman, who's not as, you don't have to give up as much. But to me, I'd rather have a guy, like DJ Moore. No offense to Michael Pittman, I'll take him too, but I don't think he's the type of guy that, you would want to throw in and to be your number one right away.
Right. Exactly. Now, I know some talk came about AJ Brown, and there are reports that the Bills were looking at that. Would you have preferred AJ Brown to DJ Moore?
Hmm. I don't know if I would have preferred it. I like AJ Brown. And I like the thought of him coming here, but if I had to pick between one or the other, it probably would have just been more of what would we have, needed to give up to get him.
It's true. You're probably giving up more for AJ.
Yeah, that's probably more on where I am on that.
Yeah, and I think AJ was. Well, I think we've said this. I've said this before. It's like he won a Super Bowl and he still wasn't happy.
Hmm.
So, what will make him happy is my question. So, I don't know if that's a
Right.
headache that the Bills really want to deal with. But I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad this. I'm glad whenever we get a talented player in here, and DJ Moore is definitely that. Speaking of
Right.
players coming in and out of the Bills, this off season in general. So far, there's been free agency moves. We've gotten rid of guys, brought some in. Who? What's a move that you don't like so far, Dave? If there's any.
What's a move I don't like that the Bills made?
Yeah, either that something you really don't like or something you really do like.
Well, I mean, I do like that they got DJ Moore, of course. Something I'm not really, you know, into is actually a guy that they lost, and Reggie Gilliam. I feel like that's going to be a huge loss for us. Not only in the running game, but on the special team side as well. Same thing with Cam Lewis. I just got alert Saber scored. Sorry, I'm multitasking here. So,
Let's go Sabres.
so, but yeah, so I feel like Cam Lewis is a guy who, I mean, he made his career. He went to UB, a local college.
Mhm.
Made a great career in Buffalo the past like 8 years, and to lose, him and Reggie Gilliam, I feel like are not going to be necessarily a deal breaker, but I feel like those are guys that contribute in more ways than one always sees. It's not always about what's on the stat sheet. There's guys
Right.
that do so much other things. Look at Cook led the league in rushing yards, and how many times was Gilliam out there setting a block for him, stuff like that. So I mean, I feel like those are things that not saying those guys can't be replaced, but it's going to be hard to find those guys that do like the dirty work and stuff like that.
For sure, yeah, I agree. I was gonna say Gilliam as well. I 100% agree with the Gilliam departure as well. I think it's such a loss that I think a lot of people are gonna overlook. And yeah,
Hmm.
it definitely brings another question to what I mean. This new Bills team with a new head coach coming in, and it's a huge loss for sure. You have a lot of things that are changing. You were hoping that's a lot stayed the same. A lot will stay the same with the offense, but
Hmm.
bringing McGovern back on a contract is definitely nice. But
Oh, that was huge. That's a contract after seeing what Linderbaum got. Saber scored again. I'm just going to keep you updated this whole time. So at this rate, we're going to score 7 goals in the first period. So
this, yeah,
we're up 2-0 already.
we're gonna be talking about the Sabres later on in the show. But yeah, hopefully they keep this run going. But
But yeah,
but
what a
yeah,
deal for McGovern.
Yeah, great deal for McGovern. But yeah, losing Gilliam is definitely not a great move. I have a huge concern about this Bills offseason in general so far. And this can either be a really good thing or it can be a really bad thing.
Hmm.
Brandon Beane is being ultra aggressive with contracts. He's backloading them. He's getting the cap hits lower for right now as he done with the DJ Moore deal, and he's probably going to have more contracts as well. I think
Hmm.
this is very dangerous. Now it could work out. It could lead us to winning a Super Bowl within the next couple seasons. But if we do not win a Super Bowl in the next couple seasons, this can be really bad because you can't just keep backloading these contracts. Everyone thinks it's great now. The money doesn't just go away. You
Right.
know
Yeah. I mean, we see what they're doing with Dawson Knox. They extended him 3 years so they can push more money down the line.
exactly.
Um,
And
there's
also,
going to be more restructures coming within the next probably 12 to 24 hours because all the teams got to get underneath the cap or whatever or be
and
cap compliant.
and also too, Bean knows that he's on the hot seat right now. Like, there's no one.
Hmm.
This is his show. He hired Joe Brady. He's the head honcho right now. If things do not go well the next couple of years, he knows he's the one to blame. And guess what? He's not going to see. He's not going to see this team for those bad cap situations later on down the line with these contracts that he's doing right now. So he's thinking like, hey, if I don't figure out this next couple of years anyway, why do I care what happens when we backload these contracts? So that's just a big concern of mine right now with the way this offseason's been going. Again, this could be a really good thing. If he's aggressive and we get the best roster we've had than than the last few years, great.
Hmm.
But if it doesn't work out and it blows up in our face, it can really have led to catastrophic. You know what I mean? Catastrophic bad things.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of him being aggressive, within the last couple hours, reports came out that the Bills were reaching out to Hendrickson. I mean, this is a guy seeking $30 million a year from reports. Obviously, the Bills are not signing him for $30 million a year. I don't think
No,
anyone is. At
no.
that point, I would rather have Joey Bosa back on a $10 or $12 million deal, or something like that. Give me two guys that I can sign for $12 million a year, and instead of giving me Hendrickson for 30 mil. Um, but yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's the splash the Bills been trying to really get. I heard that they were in talks with Crosby as well, but the asking price was just way too high.
There was no way they were gonna be two first with Baltimore having number 14 this year. There was
Yeah, that's the only way that the Bills could have beat them is if we had a lower pick, but
yeah,
obviously that doesn't happen. But you can't blame them for calling just to see. I mean, the amount of teams that call about players and stuff that you'll never even know.
exactly.
Like the Bills could call about 50 different players and we'll never know who those players are.
And
So they're go ahead.
also too, speaking about defensive players possibly coming in and all that type of stuff. I am really concerned about our cap situation and the fact that we're trying to switch our defense. I don't
Hmm.
know if we have, and this is nothing against Jim Leonard. I think Jim Leonard can be a great defensive coordinator, and this is why I wasn't sure. I'm just not sure if he was the right person for this job because it takes a lot to switch from a 4-3 to a 3-4, especially for a team that has cap constraints like us. Like, where are we getting the money to get these type of players to fit a whole brand new system? I
Right.
think this is a defense next year. It's going to have a lot of growing pains because of that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It'll be interesting to see how guys like Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, even the new corner that we brought in from Atlanta,
Hmm.
we trade Taron Johnson, they immediately, find a guy to replace him.
Yeah,
So
I'm worried about Rousseau's fit in this new scheme. I don't know what he's going to be doing in this new scheme. Definitely do not think he is an outside linebacker. And if
hmm.
they try doing, if that's their plan to do that with him, I think they're better off just trading him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, we're hearing all about the wide receiver train. I've been on the, give me a pass rusher who can sack the quarterback train for the last 10 years.
Hmm.
So, we're still waiting to see but who knows? I mean, like you said, for all we know, tomorrow we can find out Hendrickson's coming to Buffalo, and we don't have our first round pick anymore, or something like that. So
Yeah, I mean, it'd be just crazy stuff happening. But I'm really concerned about the defense. I'm not concerned about the offense. I think you're going to get some good continuity. I know maybe Joe Brady isn't the perfect offensive coordinator, but have been a top offense past couple years. You keep that around. You get McGovern back. You bring in a new weapon in DJ Moore. The offense will be fine. My concern is the defense.
Yeah, no, I understand that for sure.
Um, but enough about the Bills. There's been a lot of other big signings around in the league. What is one that you feel has been a real needle mover so far?
So far, I feel like there's been a couple. Of course, there's a big splash with Alec Pierce. He got his money, he's staying,
Mm.
and in Indy, and then Indy's like, hey, we got him. We probably need to save some more money. Let's ship out Michael Pittman. Um, but I think in general, I think there's two teams actually more than just a move. The Raiders and the Titans.
Yeah, they've
Um,
been spending.
I mean, they got money to spend, but I mean, I feel like they're not just spending it just to do it. They're making some good moves, and even Carolina, bulking up that defense.
Yep.
Um, you know, so that's a team that they were in the playoffs and stuff like that. So they probably figured like, hey, if we can, you know, get our defense going. They lost what's his name, Dowdle to to the Steelers. There's going to be so many people. I'm going to be watching the NFL this year, and I'm going to forget that all these people are on different teams, and I'm
Hmm.
going to be sitting there like, when did that happen? When did this happen? Like,
Hmm.
KC finally gets, no offense to Pacheco, gets a good running back in Kenneth Walker. Pacheco, where did he go? Detroit.
Yeah, he's going to be David Montgomery's replacement.
Yep.
Um,
So,
Speaking of Walker on KC, I hated seeing that because I think
yeah.
it solves KC's a huge problem that they've had the last few years. Pacheco has been not good. To just put it plain, I'm not going to be nice to him. You know what I mean? He just hasn't been good enough. And I think also too, it's mostly because of his injuries. I just think he's just not the same player that he was when he first came in the
Right.
league. You see the burst is gone.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a 30-plus-year-old Kareem Hunt. You know what I mean? Whatever he has, he just looks like dust out there. But you go from that to getting someone electric like Kenneth Walker coming off a Super Bowl MVP with that offense. I think it can really revitalize the Chiefs and gives them an element that they've really been missing for the past,
Right.
however many years. So, definitely not something I like to see. Um, San Fran getting Mike Evans was definitely very interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can stay healthy. It's gonna be pretty odd that the guy's he's been injury prone the last couple of years and he's going to probably the most injury prone team in the league. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but but yeah, what do you think about Evans going to San Fran?
It's I can tell you I wouldn't want to be a Tampa Bay fan right now.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like that one's got to hurt.
yeah,
Excuse me, but yeah, if he stays healthy, I mean, you know, we've seen the injuries, like you said, from the 49ers. Jawan Jennings is a free agent too, so they definitely could use some wide receiver help. Um, who knows what's going on with Ayuk? He's probably never gonna, you know, I, I, I mean, he'll probably play somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, hold on one second. Put the game on out the garage for me. Yep. Um, I'm like trying to like listen to you and listen to what he's saying at the same
No, you're
time.
good.
Um, but yeah, I mean it could be a huge signing, I think. And what did he get? Like 20 mil a year, I think, or something like that.
Not a bad contract if he's still what he is. I mean, like
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Alec Pierce got
it
like
could.
near 30 million, and you get Mike Evans for 20. I mean,
Yeah, and so yeah, I think that could be a definitely a steal. Um, there's definitely some head scratches though, like Tua going to Atlanta.
yeah, that one
Um,
was weird.
I don't know. I don't really get that at all.
The
Um,
only thing I can come up with is Penix is left-handed, so when one of them inevitably gets hurt, they don't have to change their playbook a lot.
yeah, maybe.
I mean,
I don't know.
that's the
I mean, I
only
guess
thing I can come up with.
that's one way to look at it.
I mean, they're both injury prone, and then you have another guy. Do they still have Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, but he's getting, I guess, released. Was it post June 1st or whatever it
Yeah,
is?
that's just a mess right there.
Yeah. So who knows about that? Another one I like, ETN went to the Saints. I think that's a decent signing for them. Who knows what it means for Kamara now?
I'd imagine he gets traded.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that would wouldn't be a bad 1-2 punch in the backfield, but it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, neither one of them is like a real workhorse, so maybe that's their plan to have both of them. I never saw
That
ETN. But the thing is,
right.
they
I
both
think I
kind of,
think that'd be fun.
yeah, they're both kind of the same, to where it's like they're not bangers, but I mean, it could work. I mean, who knows?
Right. And so yeah, I mean, still a lot of free agency left. I mean, so many guys are available. Um, to excuse me, to kind of piggyback off our Bills talk. I don't know if you have a specific guy in mind. Is there one person you'd like to see the Bills get, or maybe it's just a position? I mean, there's so much free agency left, so I'm wondering, like, if you have someone still on your radar.
Not really a particular player on my radar, but I want to feel better about this defense. I want us to bring in guys that fit this 3-4 scheme and see us figure it out. I think the draft's going to be a lot of defense for sure. Just anything that can bolster this defense, because that's my biggest worry right now. I honestly, offensively, I think we're fine. I think maybe you draft a receiver, but I think for the most part, we'll be fine there. You got Josh Allen as your quarterback. You got James Cook still. Knox and Kincaid are still going to be here. Offensive line's still going to be, like I said, offense I'm not concerned about whatsoever. Can it be a little better? Sure. But I'm really concerned
Mm.
about this new scheme, going to a 3-4. I want to feel better about that.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm on the same page with you as far as just get what you can, get some depth pieces. Excuse me, maybe at like corner or safety. Maybe you're adding someone who can compete. At linebacker. Just you got to fill the roster anyway. So
Definitely could use some
you know.
linebackers if you're having a 3-4 defense. So linebacker,
hmm
that would be my vote, big time. You got to find some guys, but like I said, I just don't know if we have the roster for it. You know what I mean? And you're just gonna have to make moves to make it work. It looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Excuse me. So one of my takes is I feel like they should go out, sign another wide receiver. Now, listen, some people might not like this. I'm all for bringing Stephon Diggs back.
It's not
I'm
happening.
all for I'm all for bringing him back. Let him run it back. But even if they get a guy like Darnell Mooney, if he's healthy,
Hmm.
um, if his shoulder's healthy, even a guy like Jawan Jennings or maybe like Hollywood Brown, um,
Right.
get a guy like that who you don't have to pay hopefully a lot of money to, and then like you said, just go heavy on the defense in the
Hmm.
draft. Or maybe there's someone you could trade for that's defensively where if you're like, hey, we signed two wide receivers, our wide receiver room is pretty much filled. Maybe we can package a couple picks or something like that. But yeah, like you said, I'm on board with you as far as our offense will be fine. It's we gotta see how this defense is gonna pan out.
I don't think Stephon Diggs is coming back.
Well, way to crush my dreams.
I just don't think he does. I think if we would have hired Brian Dable, I would have gave it like a 5% chance. But with Joe Brady, I just don't see it happening at all.
Yeah,
Because at the end
Sound
here,
check, come on.
Diggs did not like
I'll turn it on in a minute.
Okay.
Joe Brady's offense. He didn't like it, how run first we were and all that type of stuff. I don't see that changing really, even with DJ Moore coming in through the door. So
Yeah, I don't think it's very likely at all. It's just something that, if it ever happened, I would be all for it.
yeah, but yeah, we'll see if they make another move at that spot. So we gotta talk. So we're gonna end off episode. We gotta talk about something real quick. So we have on this podcast cast page, we've talked a lot of basketball and football, but we see Ty's hoodie on. The Sabres team has been.
Got to represent.
It's one of the craziest in-season turnarounds ever. Ty, has this been the most hockey you've watched in recent years?
Probably in like 20 years. No, but definitely the most hockey I've watched in recent years. Not even just the Sabres in general. I've been finding myself, turning on other hockey games. I was just watching what was it, Edmonton and Vegas the other night, which I never do. I mean, football, I'll watch any football game,
Right.
you know. But even now with hockey, I find myself turning on some more hockey games. But yeah, definitely not to get too much into it, but long story short, I used to be a humongous Sabres fan more than I was a Bills fan, believe it or not, because like for those that know me now, I'm a humongous Bills fan. You would never think I was more of a Sabres fan, but growing up, I was always more into hockey and the Sabres. And then as the years went on, I just kind of learned more about football and that kind of took over. I still followed hockey and stuff, but just maybe didn't, follow it or watch it as much. But the past couple of years I've been trying to get more into it and definitely, I would say last year leading up into this year is definitely the most I've been, you know, tuning into it and following it more.
Yeah, so just the other week was my first in-person Sabres game in I think about 15 years or so. And yeah, it's just great to see what's going on with this team. The team definitely has a lot of young talent. I think it's for real. I don't think this is a fluke, especially with how long the streak's been going on for. At least not like a streak, but like their good play. It's been happening since the middle of December. One of the craziest in-season turnarounds I think I've ever seen in any sport.
Mm.
Middle of December, our GM was fired. Everyone was basically resigned to the fact, like, all right, looks like we're have to reset all over again. Ruff's probably getting fired, all that type of stuff. But this is a team that you know what I mean. I heard there was some words said by this new GM when he went in the locker room. He basically said everyone's expendable. So, it's great to see that these guys, really wanted to be here and really took that to heart, and you know what I mean, and started playing hard. And it leads me to this. So I started watching hockey again when a little bit last year when Ruff came back into play. Obviously, last season didn't go as planned, but this year has gone a lot more as planned.
Mm.
Now, with this recent streak, would you say Lindy Ruff is the best coach in Buffalo sports history?
That's, Buffalo sports, that's tough.
I
I don't
think
know. I don't know about Buffalo sports history because you got guys like Marv Levy and stuff who even though we never won a Super Bowl to get there that many times, maybe if Ruff puts together maybe a little Stanley Cup run or something, I gotta wait to see how this season plays out more.
I just think that he's been part of the Sabres so much. So, obviously he brought us to the cup in '99. But to come and he got us real close again in 05, 06 and 06, 07. But to come back after all these years, Sabres 16-year playoff drought. He's an old man now, and he takes on probably the hardest job in all of hockey, and he turns around this team like this. I mean, maybe he needs a Stanley Cup run, but I have to think that no matter what, even if he doesn't, Lindy Ruff has definitely forever put himself, you know what I mean, in that threshold of like Buffalo sports greatness, and I think it's something that's
Oh,
been great to
oh,
watch.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's been impressive. I mean, he's got to be front runner for Coach of the Year.
If he doesn't win, then we riot.
Yeah, there. I don't even know who else could compete. I mean, I know there's other guys, but like you said, to have this playoff drought and come in and turn this thing around, and the in-season turnaround, we're on a 7-game winning streak right now, sitting atop first place in our division. Um, yeah, I mean, like you said, there hasn't probably there's been turnarounds and stuff like that, but being able to see this, in person and stuff like that, is definitely one of the many highlights we've gotten from the Sabres. So.
Yeah, and there was a lot of skeptics when we brought back Ruff. Everyone thought it was just nostalgia driven. They thought he was too old, all this type of stuff. But
Yeah.
it's obviously has really worked out really well. And I'm glad to see it. The way the season was going, middle of December, I would have hated to see him fail and kind of like tarnish his legacy. I think him just getting us back to the playoffs, I think there's zero chance of that happening now. No matter how the rest of the season goes, I feel like his legacy is at least intact with the Sabres.
For sure.
But I think we're gonna end on that. Appreciate everyone that watched this episode. Before we leave, like I said before, hit that subscribe button, please. We're almost to 70 subscribers. Let's see if we can get there by the time of our next episode. But until next time, peace out.